Coming up on this week's edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
It's boots on the hill as we head to Washington, D.C. for NCBA's legislative conference. Plus, we announced the national winner of the Environmental Stewardship Award Program.
And now, NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Hello and welcome to Cattlemen to Cattlemen. I'm Kate Maher. We're in Washington, D.C., site of NCBA's annual legislative conference. This event allows cattle producers from across the country to join with NCBA's Washington-based policy team for 3 days of advocacy on Capitol Hill. They'll meet with members of Congress and regulatory officials to discuss issues that can impact the beef industry. And joining me now is NCBA President Mark Isley. Mark, we're here in D.C. at the NCBA Legislative Conference. How does the work being done here this week by our members really help support the work that NCBA staff do in D.C. every day throughout the year?
When producers show up in town, they've got hats on the hill and boots on the ground. It reemphasizes to our legislators and their staff how these things affect real producers in real life in real time.
You know, another big part of this event is our state affiliates are all here with their members telling their stories too. How important is it to have those state affiliates and NCBA working together this week?
Well, it goes back to strength in numbers, but they also get to hear regional and state intensified stories of what's happening to producers, how good rules or bad rules, good legislation, bad legislation can help or hurt affect their livelihoods.
You know, you ranch on public lands out in Wyoming. The Public Lands Council is also part of this event this week. Talk about the partnership between the Public Lands Council and NCBA and how it really impacts the cattle industry.
Well, absolutely. It's super important because so many cattle, especially in the western part of the country, graze and use public lands. And it's a huge tool for management. It's a great fire load reducer. They focus on a lot of the rules and regulations for public lands. NCBA focuses on the big picture as far as legislation and the agency stuff. But when you get us together, we're really powerful. We're very effective. We have great stories to tell. And those legislators in Congress need to hear that. They need to know what those stories are.
It really kind of showcases that in the cattle industry, we're really better together than we are on our own. You know, another really great part of this legislative conference is we have the honor of announcing the national winner of the Environmental Stewardship Award. We know how important this program is to tell the story of sustainable beef production to consumers. Why is it so important to showcase the winners in this program to members of Congress here in D.C.?
I love the ASAP program. It's so strong. It's so powerful. And I came up through part of that program, and it was great because you got to see what was working on ranches, you saw what wasn't working on ranches, but you could take it home and make improvements on your place. And cattle producers they're real humble. They don't necessarily want to talk about what they're doing. This allows them to do it. It puts it in a showcase, and we can show the legislators how these things work, how we're sustainable, how we're using the resources wisely, how it helps local economies. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's just a great way to show and prove what we're doing, and it's a wonderful setting to do, especially here in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, it's great to get that out in front of members of Congress so that they know that we're sustainable as well. Mark, thank you for your leadership. Thanks for being here in D.C. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. You definitely walk the walk and talk the talk and lead by example. We really appreciate you.
I'm having a great time. Thank you.
You can take the first step to helping Mark and other producers here in D.C. and our D.C. staff by becoming a member of NCBA. It's easy to do. Just call 1-866-233-3872 or go to the website ncba.org. Joining me now is Kim Brackett, who is a cow-calf and stocker operator from Idaho. She also serves as NCBA's policy chair. Kim, we talk a lot on this show about NCBA's grassroots policy-making process and the importance to beef producers, but talk about the importance of it here in D.C. this week during legislative conference where the boots are on the hill.
Oh, absolutely. Our NCBA policy process is the core of what we're doing here this week. Our members develop our policy, they approve our policy, and the messages that we're delivering in offices this week are all based on that policy. So that boots on the hill is absolutely critical to what we're doing this week.
So right here in D.C. is really where the rubber meets the road in terms of the work that our producers do throughout the year. What are some of the key topics that producers have been taking out to their legislative members this week?
Oh, there's a lot of topics and a lot of discussions, but a couple that are top of mind for us are continuing to support the checkoff, making sure that folks in this town understand that this checkoff is producer funded, it's producer led, and that it's really critical for growing beef demand both domestically and overseas. And also, this has definitely been Farm Bill time, talking a lot about Farm Bill and making sure lawmakers understand the importance of continuing to fund the vaccine bank when we're talking about FMD, making sure they continue to focus on risk management, disaster relief, and also voluntary conservation efforts through NRCS.
There's never any shortage of issues to talk about. What do you hear back from members of Congress, or the value of the producers being here in DC to talk face to face with these members of Congress?
I think it is beyond measure. When we come to town and we're in our cowboy boots and we're in our cowboy hats, we are received so positively by the majority of congressional offices that we visit, and they really appreciate hearing our stories. It gives us an opportunity to further build those relationships with those offices, share what we do on our farms and ranches and why we do that. And also those new folks, we have an opportunity to build a relationship and provide them with facts about the cattle industry, hoping to encourage them making decisions on facts, on science, as opposed to emotion-based decisions.
Those relationships are so important as they continue their work throughout the year when maybe producers aren't here, to make sure that they have that information at hand, and the NCBA is the resource for that. That's a great point. You've been to a few of these events now, anywhere from convention to here at the legislative conference. What's your feedback that you get, not only from elected officials, but really from the producers that come here to DC to tell their stories?
Oh, both sides of that. I would say from elected officials, there is a tremendous amount of respect for cattle producers across the country and for NCBA as well. So I attribute a lot of that success to our staff here in DC and the work they do for us every day. And on the member side, when I visit with folks that maybe this is their first time to legislative conference, they're always blown away by the scope of individuals we hear from that come in and speak to us. And then they are run off their feet with all of these meetings that they get to attend and share that message with their congressional offices as well as agencies that we visit throughout the week.
Yeah, great work being done here. Thank you for the work that you do leading NCBA's policy division. We really appreciate your time here in DC. We know it's time away from your ranch.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kate.
Still to come on Cattlemen to Cattlemen, we'll introduce you to the national winner of the Environmental Stewardship Award. Stay with us.
Weeds will rob me of my investments. The weeds are not palatable to cows. They will not eat them, or if they do eat them, some of them may be toxic. So there's a return on investment by allowing there to be more grass available to be grazed by the cattle.
Handle feed, waste, and other materials on your operation with John Deere equipment. Weigh feed on the go with dynamic weighing, and move materials faster without spilling with the Level to Horizon feature on 6R tractors. Move and stack bales easily and clean up brush and debris with improved grapple work on 5 Series tractors. Get into tight spaces with skid steers and wheel loaders, and check calves, fences, and more with John Deere Gators. Ask your John Deere dealer to learn more.
Are you concerned about the impact government policies could have on your cattle business? One way to make your voice heard in Washington is by joining NCBA. When you join, you'll be part of the nation's oldest and largest national cattle industry organization that has a professional team working in Washington, D.C. on issues that matter to cattle-producing families nationwide. Don't stay on the sidelines. Make your voice heard by joining NCBA today at the website ncba.org.
Welcome back as we continue our coverage of the NCBA Legislative Conference in Washington, D.C. Another important part of this event is the announcement of the national winner of the Environmental Stewardship Award. Congratulations to this year's winner, G-Bar C Ranch of Texas.
In North Texas, the G-Bar C Ranch was started by G.C. Ellis in 1982. Today, the ranch is managed by his daughter Meredith, while her son represents the third generation to call this land home. At G-Bar-C Ranch, they're committed to raising cattle in a way that nurtures the environment and promotes biodiversity. Meredith feels that every organism, big or small, is important to the overall health of the ecosystem, and she's cataloged more than 500 different species that call the ranch home. The Ellis family understands diversity must be nurtured from the ground up and focuses their efforts on soil health, specifically capturing and storing carbon. Studies have shown the amount of CO2 sequestered is the same as taking 551 cars off the road every single year. For G-Bar-C Ranch, the goal each day is to demonstrate that cattle ranching and a healthy environment can go hand in hand.
In everything that we do at the G-Bar-C Ranch, we're committed to continually improving the environment in which our ranch operates. We're eager to be curious and explore and try new things. When I'm 99 years old, I will still be on my journey of learning. My conviction is to take care of this landscape and to protect it and make sure that it continues to be working lands. And it will continue to be a thriving, diverse community for all the living things, including cattle.
I'm joined now by Meredith Ellis of the G-Bar-C. Meredith, congratulations to you and your family on the win tonight. What does it mean to you to be awarded the National ESAP Award winner?
Oh, for me and my family, it's equivalent to a Lifetime Achievement Award. I mean, everything my father has worked for the past 40 years, building our ranch, and then for me to take it on, and it's just something that is a day that I will never forget for the rest of my life.
You know, there were so many emotions in the crowd tonight, and that's really what this award is all about. You talk about how it's your goal to protect every species on your ranch. How do cattle help you achieve that goal?
Yeah, so if you think about ruminant animals on our nation's prairie, they exist for thousands of years in symbiosis with the landscape. And so the landscape benefits from proper disturbance from cattle. And if you find that beautiful balance, I mean, the effects are just amazing. We've documented over 660 species on our land and counting, over 100 different species of birds, and it's part of ranching. We have a lot to be proud of in the United States as far as ranching.
I love how you mentioned cows as a ruminant animal, because I think that rumen is just so important to so much that cows can do for us.
Yeah.
You know, we're here in Washington, D.C. during the legislative conference where we announced you and your family as the national winner. What does it mean to bring, you share your story with so many people. What does it mean to bring that story to Capitol Hill, to Congress, about the story of sustainable beef production and what it means to all the people around the world?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's so easy for us ranchers to just be out in the pasture and not speak out about what we're doing, but it's so important because we've all got great stories to tell, no matter if we're in Florida or we're in Washington or we're in Texas. It's so important to share the environmental benefits of what we're doing because we're doing excellent work.
Thank you for all the excellent work you do on our ranch, for all the regional winners that do so much excellent work on their ranches and for beef producers in general, right? Thank you and your son, JC, for being here tonight. Congratulations to you and your family. Thanks for joining us on Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
It's an honor.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
If you'd like to find out more about the ESAP winners and learn about the nomination process, visit the website environmentalstewardship.org. When we come back, it's time for a weather update with meteorologist Matt Makins. So stay with us.
Cattle producers across the country work hard to care for their animals and their land. The USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service is there to help. Find out how you can work with NRCS to develop a conservation plan for your operation. Find possible funding resources for implementing conservation practices, or get free expert advice on ways to improve your farm or ranch. Visit the website nrcs.usda.gov today.
BRD stands for bovine respiratory disease. It isn't a specific disease, but it's the complex that we deal with. This particular group has used Draxxin KP. As they were using the KP, one of the biggest things they brought up to me was how much quicker the response was. They see that it works, and when you figure your cost into it, I think it's a significant return on an investment for them.
Join the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. NCBA is the oldest and largest national cattle industry organization working to defend your interests in Washington, D.C. And there are big benefits to being a member. You'll get news you can use in the National Cattlemen, email updates in the NCBA Beef Bulletin, plus big discounts only for NCBA members. Join by calling 866-233-3872 or online at ncba.org.
Farmers and ranchers face all sorts of challenges when raising crops, hay, or cattle. But many have found that John Deere equipment provides the reliability and durability they need to handle the tough tasks.
John Deere equipment really helps us get quality hay by just being consistent equipment and being able to run and get the job done when it needs to be done. If my neighbor came to me and asked me about equipment, why I have John Deere, I would just have to simply say, it's kind of nostalgic, but it's just simply the best. Ease of operation.
The John Deere equipment that we've had and that we've gotten from John Deere has produced good hay. It's made it easier, and we can get it done faster. If there is a storm coming, we can get it done and put up the right way, and that's due to John Deere's quality of equipment.
I can never say enough about John Deere equipment. They are proven usually time and time again for us. For our operation, for our herd, it works for us.
For years, John Deere has added value to a membership in the National Cattlemen's Beef Association by offering exclusive discounts on things like mowers, tractors, and hay equipment.
With an NCBA membership, you get enrolled into our member benefits program. One of the great member benefits that we have is with John Deere. John Deere provides NCBA members with Platinum 2 level savings through their John Deere Rewards program. So members of NCBA receive significant discounts on the equipment that they're using to smoothly run their operations.
It was easy to use our NCBA discount through John Deere. Let my dealer know that I was an NCBA member. When he gets the quote, you work on your best deal. John Deere's discount comes off the top after it's all said and done. It was easy. Just let your dealer know.
It's all part of John Deere's long-term commitment to the beef industry and to NCBA.
John Deere is a great partner of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. John Deere has recognized the efforts that NCBA puts into protecting cattlemen and women over the country from the rules and red tape coming from our nation's capital. They have decided to partner with NCBA and add value to those who invest in membership with the association.
John Deere is committed to those folks. We're committed to the beef producers. We're committed to make sure that you have the equipment to do the job, perform very well, and we are making sure that we are supporting the NCBA every year.
If you'd like to learn more about how John Deere tools and equipment can bring value to your farm or ranch, visit your local dealership or check out the website johndeere.com. And don't forget to become a member of NCBA so you can take advantage of the great discounts offered by John Deere. Just call 866-233-3872 or visit the website ncba.org.
Still ahead, we'll introduce you to one of the many cattle producers who is helping to direct the work of the Federation of State Beef Councils. Stay with us.
By installing Ritchie waterers, you save water while keeping it fresh and always available to your animals. You protect the land by keeping natural water clean and soil healthy. And you conserve power because they're energy efficient. We're committed to helping you create a prosperous, sustainable, and regenerative future because we know, like you know, that every saved drop matters. Ritchie, fresh water for life.
Join the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. There are big benefits to being a member. You'll get industry news in the National Cattlemen, email updates in the NCBA Beef Bulletin, plus discounts just for NCBA members. Join by calling 866-233-3872 or online at ncba.org.
CattleCon's headed to San Antonio, February 4th through 6th, 2025, where farmers and ranchers gather to shape our industry's future. Remember, if you ain't at the table, you might just be on the menu. Check out the latest in ranching at the Texas-sized NCBA trade show. Network, learn, and grow your operation. Don't miss this chance to steer the cattle biz in San Antonio, where the Alamo spirit lives on. Visit convention.ncba.org for details. CattleCon 2025, where the beef industry meets.
This beef quality assurance tip is funded by the Beef Checkoff.
Hi, I'm Dan Buskirk, Beef Extension Specialist with Michigan State University with a beef quality assurance tip. Using the injection triangle in the neck eliminates beef product defects in more valuable cuts of the carcass, such as the top butt and the round. And blemishes in the neck are more easily trimmed or easily removed at harvest. Always administer injections according to the manufacturer's labeled instructions, and when the label allows the choice of route of administration, choose subcutaneous over intramuscular to further reduce the possibility of injection site lesions. The lower boundary of the injection triangle is above the cervical vertebrae in the middle of the neck. The upper boundary is below the nuchal ligament, which is 2 to 3 inches below the top line. The posterior boundary of the triangle is in front of the shoulder. Regardless of the age of the animal, do not give injections in the rear leg or the rump. Make certain everyone on your team is BQA certified and uses the injection triangle. For more information on injection site management and record keeping, visit bqa.org.
The Beef Quality Assurance Program is funded by the Beef Checkoff.
I'm Nancy Jackson. I'm a large animal veterinarian, a cow-calf producer with Southern Cross Farm in Eupora, Mississippi, and I am the Federation of State Beef Councils. An important aspect of being part of the Federation of State Beef Councils is the volunteer leadership to come in and represent the producers from all over the United States that are producing this product that we are so proud of. The Federation was formed in the year I was born, and so as I reflect on how it's vital in the things that I was taught in high school, things about nutrition, and some of the animal welfare things as I learned through my veterinary education, and beef quality assurance has been such a huge background in my life professionally. That's been checkoff funded for years. And so for me to think about 60 years and we're still moving on, we're still increasing, we're promoting beef and wanting it to be the protein of choice around the world. So the checkoff dollars is still exactly critical, and that federation to come together and work as a team is critical because we have states that have more cows than people, and then we have other states that where their human population is more. And so by pooling our money together from the checkoff dollars under one umbrella in the Federation of State Beef Councils, together we can accomplish more and share those resources to reach the consumers. So it's a grassroots, we're pooling together our resources to promote and educate people about beef. All the programs impact states in different areas, but for my state specifically, one of the things that we very happily use for the Federation of State Beef Councils is the imaging and cooking methods and the access to Beef It's What's for Dinner, because we'll share that on digitally on our Facebook site. We don't have the money as our state to photograph some of these or to develop the recipes, but as a member of the Federation of State Beef Councils, we're able to put that out. We're able to hold hamburger and steak contests and get the recognition through the media. The checkoff is absolutely critical, and I love to tell producers about it because I think sometimes producers don't realize how far that dollar goes. Your $1 counts. It is used wisely. The Federation of State Beef Councils really want people to understand it's a volunteer-led organization. We work so hard to be a very effective stewards of the money. The biggest thing is we're really wanting people to know that beef is nutritious, beef is wholesome, beef is safe. And the Federation funds so much research in promotion and industry information that individual producers can't do. By belonging their contribution to their state and their state contributing to the Federation, together we accomplish so much more, both nationally and internationally and on a global scale.
In this episode, we've highlighted the importance of getting involved to promote and protect the cattle industry. There's another important event coming up where members of the beef industry will come together to discuss current issues, work on programs and initiatives, and make plans for the upcoming fiscal year. It's the Cattle Industry Summer Business Meeting, and it will be held July 8th through the 10th in San Diego, California. You can get details on how to attend at the website ncba.org. That wraps up this edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. Thanks so much for spending some time with us. We'll see you again next week, right here on RFD TV.